He wasn't here the last 2 days. I called for him, walked the hill 4 or 5 times a day, AM and PM, but he's here now. I'm trying to get you trained to be more consistent. More consistent, I tell you. Hi. Hello, I got your food. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. 66 and sunny.
That's right.
Headed to Whole Foods today.
Oh boy.
Got a farm order.
Oh joy.
I hope not to go Thanksgiving week.
Right.
So let's get her done. Let's get her done.
Yeah. We got our turkey deposit in.
Yep, at the State Farmers Market. We'll go the Sunday before to get our fresh turkey.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Yum.
Tex is here with me right now. Hey, buddy. Good morning. Good morning. Hi.
Four beeps.
Mail, but no Legos.
Mail, but no Legos.
All right. It's impossible to get a good video of Gray when she's glued to me in the mornings, but I've been sitting with her here for 10 minutes and she circles from one side to the other real close. Gets her in some loving. Then she circles around to the other side. We've been doing this little game for about 10 minutes now. I finished my coffee. Hi, Gray. Hi. Hi, Sweet Pea. There was some very interesting and affects us personally Tesla news yesterday. It kind of spread like wildfire through the Facebook groups, the local Triangle Tesla owner Slack chat, and the news outlets like Electrek. Yeah. So Tesla, I guess there's a class action lawsuit on the eMMC memory chips going bad.
Right. We know all about that.
And
we know all about them going bad.
We do. In March, we paid a little over $2,100, including labor and tax, to have our MCU replaced.
Yeah.
We begged, we asked, we looked, pitiful at the people at the service that we really wanted the MCU upgrade, the MCU 2 upgrade.
Yeah.
But they just weren't ready yet. So they got us going. Right. They put a new MCU in. We paid. We hoped at some point something would happen, but we paid. And then when we that was in March, and then in August we paid to have MCU 2 put in. So we've paid twice.
Full self-driving computer with
upgrade
to the 3.0 and the new 2.5 entertainment or whatever it is.
And the new instrument cluster. Well, the only part we paid for was the MCU 2 part. They would have done it without upgrading to MCU 2. They put in the computer chip and all the full self-driving hardware because we have full self-driving, but we did pay money for the MCU upgrade. So anyway, we've paid twice. Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get, short story is it looks like we're going to get our money back for March where we had the failure, not the upgrade, but the failure. Yeah. But they said not till February. So you can't count your check for Christmas, but we did get a check from Tesla yesterday. It's for $36. It says overpayment.
$31.
Yeah, overpayment refund, and we have no idea why they sent us that.
So hopefully this is
a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, and not the kind of check that says if you cash this check, you give up your right to $2,100. No, it clearly says it's an overpayment refund. Maybe we're doing their accounting
for service or something, and or for Jules, or I don't know. Maybe Electrek will tell us what that check's for too, because there's no real good explanation there.
Well, it could be Tesla is trying to get caught up on all these little things that going to hit the bottom line, so they can start off next year.
Yeah.
The right way. So take the write-off, write down this fourth quarter for the repair of the EMC and things like that. I think this was just a simple, we charged you some X and it really turned out to be Y. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we were just joking.
Yeah, the only thing is it could always be bigger.
Their accounting auditing found something and they sent us a check we didn't even know we were getting. So, but go out, and if you own an S or an X, that's an older S or an X. Right. Check your email for something from Tesla, because we got one. It basically, by the time it was hitting the Slack chat, Don already had the. We were looking on the way home from Raven Rock. Of course, I didn't film it then, because in the dark car you really can't see anything good. It's not good quality, but it is a limit of 8 years and 100,000 miles. And a couple of people in the chat were like, I really needed to not worry about miles, and I think Don feels that miles.
That's an old hangover to the ICE car days, and I really think Teslas are very disruptive, and we pretty much all think now our Teslas are computers that happen to have wheels, or mobile computers, whatever.
Disruptive in that you'd like to see it shake up the warranty, the way warranties are handled.
I get it where you might want to put from a commercial. For commercial use, this vehicle's only maybe you stick to some kind of a mile thing, but for personal use, I think you should just give you 3 years, or 5 years, or whatever the warranty should be, because we ran out of warranty on Ruby in less than 2 years, and not that Kyle is a typical. He's the other extreme. He ran out of his warranty in less than a year.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying is. One of the things that happens when you have an electric car, maybe pre-COVID, was you drive it more. You actually drive more miles. And, it isn't like the engine sitting there idling at traffic lights all the time and things like this, wear and tear even when it isn't moving. The air conditioner gets quite a workout, I guess, but other than that, nothing else does.
Right. I guess all we're trying to say is that 8 years, 100,000 miles is pretty good, but most cars are going to reach 100,000 miles well before 8 years. And certainly in the Triangle Owners Group, there were quite a few people that were affected but have more than 100,000 miles, but their car's 3 years old. So, right. And they won't get the refund here. And they were just, they were hoping that Tesla would have opened it up just a wee bit more, or just put 8 years and don't even add the mileage clause.
Well, you can have, maybe we do like tractors and things like that, heavy equipment, it goes to hours of operation, because one of the things I did when I was researching this EMC failure is that it wasn't how many miles the car had, it was how long it had been powered on, because this memory, this logging condition to this memory card that wore out the memory card, if the car was on, it was logging. And so one of the things they did over the time to try to slow this failure rate down is they cut back on the logging. That's what we were told. I don't know what they did.
Right. Yeah. So for me, sitting in my car playing Pokemon for an hour a day when I was driving Johnny back and forth to downtown contributed to more usage of the car versus actual driving miles. Right. So that's all we're trying to. Right. How do you actually calculate the wear and tear on the car? Miles in an electric car is not.
Yeah, well, certainly for
it works for tires, but it doesn't work so good for the screen.
Well, I don't even know that it works for brakes anymore. I mean, I just don't know. And tires aren't covered, so I don't know what the miles have to do with. In an electric car.
So, but anyway, a lot of cars will be covered. A few won't be covered.
Yeah, this was supposed to be quick.
I wasn't complaining. I was just summarizing. A lot of cars will be covered. Some won't. Check your email.
Yeah.
Talk to your service center. So Don's on the opinion page, and apparently someone has written an opinion about leaf blowers disturbing Zoom calls for business purposes during COVID. And I'm like, look, if your neighbor's leaf blowing with one of those high-powered gas blowers and it's driving you nuts, I get it. I understand. Just go buy him an electric blower and say, and you know, fix the, I assume this guy's got time to write this editorial and he's working and he's got Zoom that he can spare $200. Just go buy your neighbor. Yeah, just go buy your neighbor an electric blower. It'll make a third of the noise of the other blower.
Right.
And it'll spread some goodwill. You'll pass on how great this electric battery operated yard equipment is and have a nice day. I mean, the guy's going to blow his leaves. I can't get the people over here to not burn the leaves and choke me to death and flare up the cat's asthma. So I'm sure you're not going to have any luck getting them not to use the blower this time of year.
Right.
I sympathize. I mean, I just think it's funny that made the things that make the paper. So this is rough and average, but our leaf blower should be somewhere between 70 and 90, depending on if I'm on turbo mode with it or not. I tend to operate in turbo mode, and gas-powered blowers are somewhere over 110 dB, so significantly more noise. And that's just the blower. We're not talking the lawnmower noise. Basically, it said if you use an ego blower on and off for an 8-hour lawnmower job shift, you still shouldn't need any hearing protection because you wouldn't be using it long enough, and the dBs aren't high enough that it would require ear protection. And I would say I never feel compelled to go get ear protection when I do the driveway for the 15 minutes that takes. But Don, in the fall, when he does the leaf blowing,
I like to listen to my
podcast is underneath the earphones.
And I don't like to crank the volume up so high that on the podcast, my head, I don't like to do that.
Well, also in the fall when you're doing the leaves in the grass, you're out there for like over 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Or walking around with the backpack. So I can see it at that point. But for me, for my 15-minute run, I never feel like I need to go get hearing protection. So if leaf blower noise bothers you and you're not electric battery operated blower yet, please go get one. Thank you. Take this public service announcement. Show your neighbor how quiet your leaf blowing can be. I mean, I never worry our neighbors are bothered when I do the driveway because it's just that much quieter. I don't feel like I'm infringing on their quiet for the 15 minutes because I'd use it more because it's so easy to start, press a button, and because it's quiet.
Yeah,
and I don't, it's not bothersome to me, so standing right there with it, so I don't think my neighbor's too bothered by it. But I don't know. They'd have to come tell me otherwise.
Right. Well, I can barely hear it inside the house.
Yeah.
And when the neighbor's up there using his gas leaf blower.
Oh, God, for an hour. It's just horrible.
Right, I can hear it.
I like him, though, because he mows our part of the grass.
That's right.
We don't mean to be complaining about it. We just wish he had a quieter lawnmower.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable, and it takes him an hour to do that yard up there.
Yep.
I cringe when it starts up.
Yep.
I'm making Johnny a big pot of fried rice for lunch for the rest of the week. It's organic jasmine rice, and I'll be adding in the tops of the broccoli here in a minute. It's just onion, garlic, and the stems of the broccoli. He says he likes broccoli just as much as he likes peas and carrots, and the broccoli needed to be used. I'll be adding 4 or 5 eggs to it, and organic soy sauce. For the egg going in, it's just 4 broken yolk fried eggs, and I just used a spatula to make it into smaller pieces that I can then put in the fried rice, which I've started mixing the rice and the broccoli over here. Johnny has the last 4 chicken wings that were left over from the other night on top of his fried rice. He actually was disappointed last night when I made the cheese stuffed chicken breast that I only made 3 of them and there wasn't any left over for lunch to go along with lunch today in the fried rice. Yeah, I could have chopped that up and put that in here too. So tomorrow I'll make him some other kind of meat to go with the fried rice, either chicken breast or leftover steak or something. While we've been watching videos this morning, I've been working on the toys for the display stands, and it's not exactly what they had, but it's really close. They had the planes, they had the trucks, I added the animals instead of something else, and they had the little rocket ship. So I added this little flower thing I thought was kind of cool. The teddy bear. I thought the teddy bears were cute. I had this robot minifigure, of course, because I'm the robot coach. So I put that up. There is a little robot to build. And that's what I'm going to pick up on. I think, I mean, I will put it somewhere in the store or I will put it on the sidewalk outside the store. Because there are a few toys that they had on the outside of this also. But I'm going to stop now. It's time to get ready to head out to Whole Foods. I'm trying to enjoy the process and not rush through the process. So this is plenty for today. And I'm happy to stop there. Don's been fooling with printers.
Yes.
That's not something anyone really wants to spend their day fooling with.
Right.
The reason why he's been doing that is Google Cloud Print announced they're going away, and we use Google Cloud Print.
Yeah, I have been using a Chromebook since the CR 49 or something, the very first one. That was like 2011 or something like that. I've been using, and then I don't know when I went to Cloud Print. Anyway, long story short, we've been using Cloud Print for at least 5 years. The entire time Marianne and the boys have been here, y'all have been using Cloud Print.
Right. So Don had to come up with a new way to print since Google decided, for whatever reason, that Cloud Print was going away. Now, don't tell us the 5 things you tried that didn't work. Yeah. Just tell us the one thing you tried that finally worked and may have resolved your...
Well, first of all, if you have a relatively new printer, our printer was 2015.
I don't consider it old, but I guess 5 years flew by.
Yeah, 5 years goes by. So if you have a relatively new printer, it's probably supported directly by your Chromebook. You just go into your settings on your Chromebook, find your manufacturer, find your model number, you're done. 5 seconds. I mean...
Really?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Simple. Just...
Nope. If you have a Chromebook.
If you have a Chromebook and if you are using a modern printer.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our printer is too old and it flat out does not support IPP or cups printing. So we're out of luck on that easy method. So Google had other suggestions, and one of it is use a partner. And
which partner did you use?
I used something called PaperCut. Papercut.com.
Okay.
Okay. It's free for home users. You have the ability to print locally on your network for just on the network at home, which is what I chose, the option I chose. But you can do it for cloud.
My iPhone while I'm not at home?
I don't know. I
I only try to do that once a year, and it doesn't. I don't need it.
Right. The bottom line is if you're away from home, you may not be able to print. Whereas Cloud Print, JB used to print on my printer, you know, and stuff. So, or vice versa.
But when he's on our Wi-Fi, he'll be able to print when he's here.
Well, with the invite link. So anyway, long story short is just if you have an old printer and it's not supported, go get papercut.com. Just do a search. If it doesn't show you the banner that Google Chrome Cloud Print's going away, click here to get started. If it doesn't show you that, just do a search on Chromebook, just one word. It has a little, and it'll pull up the link. Anyway, you have to do this from your Windows or your Mac, whatever one's going to act as a print service.
We still have to have a Windows computer as a print server, which thankfully we had.
Right.
So we have this little tiny computer in the closet, and that's basically all it's for, is the print server.
Right. Now,
and our ScanJet scanner runs through it, and maybe a couple others. So me on my MacBook, I realize I have the Canon printer software installed, but me on my MacBook, could I use it? Can I print through PaperCut, or it's only good for the Chromebook?
No, I think you can. I believe you can print through your MacBook. Because this thing's designed to be cross-platform. So
and Johnny's on his Windows desktop. Right. He can print from it too.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the only person that was going to be able to print was me.
Right.
Because I installed the Canon software, which, by the way, don't do unless you just don't have a choice. The Hewlett-Packard and the Canon print software are both these. I don't know, they're both annoying, but I needed to use the scanner on our printer for photos. I didn't want to put them through the ScanJet. I wanted to lay them flat, some older, fragile photos. And the ScanJet scanner has a plastic sleeve you can put your stuff in and send it through, and it's probably fine. But I wanted to use the real printer. I wanted to lay multiple photos out flat and have it scan multiple ones at a time, because it will split them up for you. That software is nice. So that allowed me, all of a sudden one day I wasn't using Cloud Print anymore.
Right.
That wasn't the plan, but it sort of happened that way. The only thing bad about Cloud Print was you couldn't print a document on your computer hard drive without uploading it to Google Drive.
Right, that was a problem.
But it wasn't a problem, but you just and they were probably going up to Drive anyway, but you would have to remember to print things in the browser no matter what with Cloud Print. But I'm glad for you figured it out.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's a little bit of a load off, because I guess it's going away at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's going away at the end of the year.
Yeah, and things get hectic at the holiday, so you don't want to be fighting it then.
You probably could, you could probably just go buy a new printer for $60-$70 and be done with it. And, not...
Right, well, Don and I found out these Canon printers and these Hewlett Packard printers, basically, they give them to you for $10, and you're buying the ink.
Yes,
it's whichever ink you're willing to buy. That's how we got this printer. I think I paid $30 for it. It's a great little printer, and it came with ink, and the ink cartridges are, on par with other ink. It's not cheap or expensive. But yeah, so, maybe Black Friday buying that new printer that will work with, inexpensive, work with cups. Yep, might be the way, might be the route to go. If I'm out and I see a printer for $20, we'll think about it.
Right. Well, the thing is, you have to be careful. Is we've got print cartridges.
Right. We put them on subscribe and save, and we have a few extra lying around. So that would be
stop those.
Yeah, that would be the reason why we stuck with this printer.
Right.
That, and it's not quite it's not quite National Buy a Printer Day. With it getting dark so early, and the farm order pretty much always coming so late, Don's going to stay and go run, and I'm going to head up to Whole Foods and Ruby. Ruby needs to get out and stretch her legs since we took Jules.
I got to blow the yard.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Get the backpack blower out and blow the yard.
Yeah, well, behind you there, I did that yesterday.
Yeah, well, this is peak coming down time.
Yep, coming down time. Yeah,
it's like every day.
All right, well, you get Ruby's space in front of the door cleared off so I don't track them back in the garage with me when I come back.
Early enough, I got enough light, I can...
Yeah, but rain tomorrow, 2 to 3 inches, meeting Michelle at Guardian Angel tomorrow. We probably don't want to wash Ruby tonight unless you want me driving the van tomorrow.
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll see you in a little while.
I'll see you.
There you go. Pretty day to be out there. It's over 70 here. I think it's almost 80. It's a pretty afternoon. Yeah, Ruby says it's 78. Well, I guess I'm for one am glad we didn't have one of those super cold Novembers, which we have had before. We've had some winters where we have like the absolute coldest temperatures of the winter in November. Lower 20s, upper teens for nighttime. I can do without it, so this works for me. Of course, a sign of a early start to the winter doesn't mean it won't be a cold winter, and we've had some cold starts, and then the rest of the winter was like summer. So, go figure. I came down past Guardian Angel. Short story is there is a Fuquay police officer standing out by the pole, and he had his radar gun. He was on foot out of his car. He had his radar gun pointed at me, and I looked down and I was doing 37 and a 35. So thankfully, I don't think that was enough to, obviously that wasn't enough to make him come get me, but I wasn't on traffic aware cruise control, and that's not high enough for the speed limit chime to go off, and I'm usually paying better attention, and I almost got caught. I don't normally speed around town, but they don't mess around in Fuquay, so that put the fear and respect of the police in me a little bit there again, I think. Yeah, I changed my path. I think I'm gonna go swing into Guardian Angel Apex for a few minutes on the way to Whole Foods, and that's why I came that way, because I normally would have come through Old Downtown or gone Judd Parkway and into the right. And it was only because I changed my mind midstream that had me going past Guardian Angel there in the first place. And yes, that was the speed. Now that the election's over, the city vehicles are back over at the community center here in Apex. It's a pretty parking lot. I like the trees, the change of the colors. I'm still looking for Lefton pieces, but if you ever just want a pre-made snow village, definitely the thrift store. Lots of choices for beautiful nativity scenes too. Most interesting thing I've seen today, and I want it, but where would I put it? There was a small but no big deal thing with my farm order today, and this is my farm order. It's all in there, packed up nice on ice and everything. It's 4:15, and it's gonna take as long as it takes. That'll work for me. Champagne and flowers. Lots to choose from. I guess people are going to take flowers with them on Thanksgiving. A gift for the cook. A couple bags of organic cranberries was on my list because I'll make homemade cranberry sauce. A lot more vegetables today, including a pie pumpkin. That's a good deal on the parchment paper. I'm buying extra. Well, the chicken's pretty cute, and there is a butterfly, but I don't know what that is supposed to be. Made it up the hill. I'm out of breath. Let's move Ruby forward just a little bit. Okay. Somehow I have a feeling some of it's going in the middle row. It's 5:42 p.m. So I guess I was in there just a little over 90 minutes. I'm gonna navigate home and go whichever way Ruby tells me is the fastest way to get there, considering, you know, it's basically rush hour. Relaxing to some good tunes and letting Ruby on traffic aware cruise control worry about the car in front of me. All this stop and go traffic. It can be very relaxing driving the Tesla with the car, keeping up with the car in front of it. Oh, but we gotta stop again here. Oh well. Now, you know, this is a situation that used to would have worried me. Actually, there's a car in front and he's not gonna get to go until the light changes. But there was a release back in the old days where this car would have turned and then Ruby would have took off like a you-know-what. And she actually knows and pays attention to the car in front of the car now. So much better that she doesn't do that anymore. And there's a motorcycle guy up there. Ruby sees the motorcycle guy. You can definitely tell Dawn blew the driveway. Hey, it's not crunchy. Got the lights on for me up here. I let him know what time I was, you know, what time Ruby said I was going to be here. I'm sure they'll all enthusiastically rush out to help me in with the groceries. Seriously, because I bring home good stuff. There's my Donnie. Hello.
Hey there, pretty girl.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Did you get all that grocery shopping done?
Oh, goodness. I was in there for 90 minutes. Not on purpose, but that's just, you know, it is how it is. I'm sure I'll be running someplace for cream and some other last minute thing before Thanksgiving, but I'm pretty set.
I understand.
Pretty set.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you're home.
Driveway looks good.
Thank you.